Okay. So the alert capability is the display message function, right? That's in the main.py. So first thing is just make sure that that hasn't broken somehow. So why don't we go ahead and just have our game display a message right away. Okay, so we can just call that explicitly. For example, I'll throw it in line 67. Hello, right? You can even disable the gameplay dynamic by just commenting out game.play. And then you'd want to, well, let's just leave that for now. So we can go ahead and play our game here, and then you should see, well, I've got an edit from last time as well. But go ahead and try it on your own, and you should see your message popping up. If you don't, that means that there's an issue with the display message itself.
I didn't see it. I got the underneath the guesses, but not in the box.
Underneath the...
Or sorry, not underneath the guesses. Underneath the ship location.
Why don't you share your screen, and then we can kind of take a look at yours rather than... Yeah, so I'm not going to put that alert there. That's where my other code is coming from.
That's disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me fix that. Yeah, go ahead.
So the hello popped up here, but not on the...
Okay, right. So that's using printf. Or just print, I guess, in Python. But we want to actually stop using the terminal for interaction with the user and use the graphic window that we've created. So you need to go into display message. So in main.py, if you scroll down to the definition of that function.
That's right. Sorry, sir, we can't see you right now.
Oh, okay, this is complex then. Why don't,
I'm putting it back up. The screen just turned off.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think I changed my display message.
Okay, so now if you scroll through here, we've got, keep going. Yeah, now you see on line 118 is the print message. It says remove this once you've implemented the drawing code. So that's why you're seeing the duplicate. Hey. That's in the afternoon. Sorry. So you should be seeing this result here. Let's go ahead and make sure, go back up to main.py where you've called this. And then you have display update. Sorry, I'm getting all these spam calls here. Oh, yikes. All right. Display message, hello. Pygmus update. Go ahead and comment out all of the gameplay dynamics there. So the winner, right? Put comments there. And then you'll just drop and then scroll down a little further, right? And now you just drop into this while true loop here, which is fine. Also, if you keep going down in the display message, there's now a timer in it, so it's only going to display for a certain amount of time. You see, if you keep going down past the end of your code, you see it waits for 1 second, which is 1,000 milliseconds, and then removes the dialogue, which is basically painting the whole screen, but with a backup, so it saves what was existing there and then repaints it all. So you will see the behavior that is only there for a second. If you'd like to, you can change that pygame.wait to something longer like 10,000. Again, make sure as you do these changes, you revert them before you save your code for the lab. But just go ahead and don't comment out line 126 that restores the original screen. And this way, your game will stop and will just show the alert. So go ahead and press play now.
Okay, that worked.
Okay, great. So then you can restore the screen.blit command, line 126, and you should see the behavior that you see it for 1 second and then it goes away.
No, it didn't display the box.
Okay. Okay. Good. Line one. Go ahead and at the end, line 110 where you have print message, that you remove that code. Just at the end of your code there, do pygame.display update. And I think you'll all need to do this. I'll update the solution reference too. But when you do the screen.blit, nothing actually happens until you tell pygame to actually refresh the screen. Yeah, display. And then you can see if you dot update, and if you go down, yeah, just dot update. And you could provide it a rectangle if you only wanted to refresh a portion of the screen. So if you had a very complex game and you only needed to update the score and it's the top right corner, you could provide it a small rectangle and it would just do that. It's a little more efficient. But this will refresh the entire screen. Okay? And so the issue is that you did the screen.blit, didn't update the display until after you had restored the screen, which is line 127. So we need to have 2 updates there. Yeah, so that's my fault for the solution being incorrect, or the reference code.
That worked.
Okay, good. So you should be able to put back in the game dynamics, the gameplay dynamics. Yeah, put all that back in, and I will fix that code. Good catch. Okay, is that now you're not going to enter your guesses at the console anymore. You're going to keep the focus on the screen, the game itself, and type into that. And so we won't be using any print commands. So like if you go to your human.py, you've got that print command there, right? We're no longer going to show the user the command window. That's like a scary thing that most game players don't want to have to touch, right? So you've used it so far in all of your classes, we use the command line exclusively, but now we're going to be only doing graphics. So you don't want to put line 31 there. Now it's not an error. I mean, you can keep it, but it's going to be confusing because then you're going to want to click on the console to type.
Should we say alert instead?
Sure, you can say alert. Yeah, that'd be fine. And just, you're not going to have that much space in that alert box, so you could say shoot or something short so that it fits in that box. And then so now when you play it, you should be able to and maybe it'd be nice to keep that alert where you display the guest key just so you can get that feedback that you read what the user typed just while you're debugging it, right? Sorry, is it possible for you to show your whole screen? It's for the other people in the class, and I'm imagining for myself, you don't actually see the game, so it might be a bit tedious for other people watching. There we go. Okay. So does that answer your question? Good. Okay, so everyone will need to do that. Put an extra call to pygame.display.update within the begin and code bounds within your code. The last line of display update should be, or sorry, the last line in your code should be a call to pygame.display.update. Any other lab questions? Everybody's already done? Okay. Fair enough. Last call. Okay. Well, fair enough then. I was not expecting to get to this today, but this is great. We'll be a little ahead of schedule. So I'm going to try to stop by later today, or I'll be honest, I probably won't get there. You're going to need USB to serial converters to really see the results of this next lab. Unfortunately, I've had a cold, and it's not COVID because I got tested. Now I can't get your sympathy, but at the same time, I'm not supposed to go in, with my runny nose because I don't want to incite mass panic. So I haven't been able to get in, but I will leave the USB to serial converters out in the classroom with a note to you so that everyone will pick them up. For the next lab, what you're going to do is play another person. And you'll do that by connecting your two laptops over USB. Now, of course, there's no double male USB cable that you've seen where you would just directly plug into each other. So we're actually going to convert the output of your USB port into serial, which is just a TX and an RX line, right? You've seen with your embed, and then we'll connect that to somebody else's USB to serial converter by crossing the two wires, and that way we can send data between two systems. All right. We'll talk in more depth on serial next semester when we go into hardware. So again, this is a bit out of order. You would have a much deeper understanding of what serial looks like. I'll try to provide a little demo with my document camera tomorrow in class, but you've hopefully seen in previous classes that it really is just two electrical wires, a TX line and an RX line. And by raising and lowering the voltages, you send bits one at a time, like beads on a string. Okay? So the fundamental mental model of how data moves between two computers is a 1 followed by a 0, followed by a 1, followed by 2 zeros, followed by 3 ones, right? We're going to do it all in serial, one bit at a time. And that's going to be the same whether we're talking over a USB port to somebody else or whether we're talking over Wi-Fi or Ethernet or Bluetooth. All of these protocols, like the physical implementation, is very different. But the way your code, Python, sees the interaction is a pipe that you put bits down one at a time. Okay? And so our challenge is going to be, well, how do you take something at such a low level, right, that I can just push a 1 and then push a 0 and any pattern like that down and actually retrieve back like a guess, from an opponent. Right? Remember, the guesses we've seen are actually Python structures. They're a tuple, like 0, 0. That's the A0 spot, right? So how do you send that information over this pipe? Do you understand the problem? Okay. And so what we're going to do, we're going to build up a set of abstractions that make this very low-level concept of just bits on a pipe more and more useful. And we'll call this a protocol stack. Maybe you've seen this in cyber when you talk about computer networks. The idea of like a 7-layer OSI model, if you heard of this, like the physical layer and the machine address layer, the network layer, application layer, these pieces. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do that all ourselves. I mean, sometimes that OSI model, you just memorize it, and you're like, I wonder why we did that. It's sort of like the planets in the solar system. It's a good thing. It's just a good thing to know. So we're instead going to actually write the protocol stack ourselves. And if you'd like to apply names to each layer, then you're welcome to. You certainly need to memorize it. But I think by actually building out this by hand, we'll get a much better appreciation for why we call it a protocol stack and what that means. Once we have this working over serial, we'll find that by just substituting a couple of the lower layers for your Wi-Fi adapter, we'll be able to all of a sudden communicate over the internet without hardly any change to our code. Okay, and that's really the genius of making a stack rather than directly implementing all of the serial logic right in human.py. We'll keep it separate and make it kind of like a pluggable module so that a human can either be connected over Wi-Fi or serial, right, without a whole lot of extra work on our part. All right, so that's a lot of hand waving here. Maybe we'll try to get to some specifics. Let's see if we can do this without physical hardware. I'm just kind of curious. There is a way for you to connect a virtual COM port to yourself, and let's see if I can get you guys to install this. It's a free trial for 14 days, and after that you can pay some fee, but I think 14 days will be enough so that if I am not able to get you actual hardware, you'll still be able to be productive. So let me send you the link, and while you download it, I'll set up my screens here so I can show you how to use it. All right. Yeah, so try this out. I'll put it in a link in the chat here. I believe we can get away with just the standard VSPD. Maybe this one stays free. But let's sorry. Lots of pinging. One more thing, I tell you what. All right, well, it looks like I installed this a while ago and they won't let me continue the trial period. So maybe I'll have one of you demo the interface. And again, hopefully you'll have physical hardware and you won't need this virtual port much longer. So does one of you have this installed by now?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Do you mind sharing your view, and I'll kind of walk you through how to set this up? Great. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to create two COM ports, and then we're going to link them to each other. So any data you push out COM1 will show up on COM2. And so we can go ahead and click Add Pair there. Okay, and now you should be able to open up TerraTerm. So can you share your...
I'm gonna stop share and then share the entire.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great, thanks. Okay, so now you should be able to click on serial there, click on COM1, and then click OK. And now open up TerraTerm again. And this time select COM2. Now when you type in COM2, you should see the text that you type show up in COM1. And vice versa. So this looks kind of backwards, right? You're typing in one, but it's showing up in the other. Let me kind of walk you through what's happening here, and hopefully it will make sense. Everyone should be able to do a similar demo. So you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen. That's exactly what I was hoping would happen, so that's always good. And let's see if we can figure out this communication path. Is everybody able to get that link?
Mine, as soon as I download it, it says the trial period expired.
That's so sad.
I've never used it.
Have you done it? Like, did you use this sometime in the past?
Already sent it in the chat.